Last race of the day, the Mulrine Auctioneer's Mare's Maiden over 2 miles. A relatively short draw to the first flight. It is Little Flower who takes them on to the first, followed by Deeply Superficial. On the inside is Cocoa Lightning, making the bend to head downhill, and Cocoa Lightning nudges on in front. Off in second place, Little Flower, Deeply Superficial in third. They're starting to get strung out. Low Ella next to the inside of Battling Bessie. Further gap back to in the check colours. Heading downhill now to this next flight. Ella Rose, who's tracked by Royal Diver. On the outside is Knock-On Lady. Heading to the second flight, the leader is Cocoa Lightning, followed by Little Flower and Deeply Superficial. Low Ella is on the inside in fourth, ahead of Battling Bessie. Coming to the flight on the turn, Cocoa Lightning the leader, from Little Flower, Deeply Superficial, and then Low Ellen Battling Bessie. As that pair get closer to the first three, as they swing into the third flight. In the lead is Cocoa Lightning, followed by Little Flower, Deeply Superficial. Low Ella disputes fourth with Battling Bessie, and then Ella Rose. And on the inside, Jewel in the Sky, jumping skew with one from last, Credit Control, as they head for the winning post with a circuit to go, and the Mulrine Auctioneer's Mare's Maiden. Cocoa Lightning by a length and a half to Little Flower and Deeply Superficial. Little between Battling Bessie and Low Ella for the fourth place. And then there's a gap to Ella Rose as they face up to this fourth flight just outside halfway. Jewel in the Sky is next as they go away from that flight. After Jewel in the Sky is Tollig Wood, and on the inside is heading away, Go Cindy Go. Frano's on the outside of Royal Diver, and then Elsana, Credit Control, and Fleminora is the back marker. 7.5 furlongs to go, 5 flights to jump, and it's Cocoa Lightning who continues to lead the field. Little Flower second, Deeply Superficial in third. Little or no changes up front, and Low Ellen Battling Bessie, 7 furlongs out as they jump the fourth last flight. And it's Cocoa Lightning the leader from Little Flower as these two stretch on with 3 lengths in front of Deeply Superficial. Then Low Ellen Battling Bessie, Jewel in the Sky next with Ella Rose, who's followed by Go Cindy Go. Returning to their point of departure, 6 furlongs of the race left and 3 flights to jump. Cocoa Lightning and Garrod Broder meeting up with the next flight from Little Flower. In second place, the mount of Declan Quealy, then Deeply Superficial and Davy Russell. Next is Low Ella, Keith Donoghue on the inside of Battling Bessie and Dennis O'Regan. And these go away from Jewel in the Sky and Richie Deegan. Turning just outside the final half mile with 2 more flights left to jump, and it's Cocoa Lightning stalked by Deeply Superficial on the outside of Little Flower. Poised in behind them, both Low Ella and Battling Bessie, and then a break to Jewel in the Sky. The leaders are tightening up with 3 furlongs to race and 2 flights to jump. Cocoa Lightning challenged by Deeply Superficial, light blue and orange colours on the outside of Little Flower, and they're followed by Low Ellen Battling Bessie as they leave behind them the second last flight. And Little Flower wrestles back the lead from Deeply Superficial. Low Ella is trying to make gains on them on the outside of dropping out Cocoa Lightning, and then Battling Bessie as they face the final flight. Deeply Superficial rolls first, a mistake by Little Flower, and then Low Ella, Cocoa Lightning and Battling Bessie, and it's Deeply Superficial putting this race to bed away from the final flight. Low Ella is running on in a second place, and then Little Flower, but it's Deeply Superficial making a successful start on the race course. Low Ella second, Little Flower in third, fourth, Battling Bessie.
The row is to the outside, Horatio Apples in the light blue jacket. The King of Ryhope follows, and then So Many Roads, and they jump the first. Streaming over that hurdle, and no issues on the run down the far side, with the pace setter being Regard as they come on towards the second flight. And over the second, it is Regard at a sensible, steady tempo. Regard with the beige colours of Grove Road on the inside for Adam Wedge, and then Glenna Vadra was ahead of Rock On Cowboy, then Cedar Row. Horatio Apples is following. The King of Ryhope second last, and So Many Roads is last of all as they make the run down the hill. So it is Regard and Grove Road, with Glenavadra and Rock On Cowboy on the premises. Cedar Road just in behind them. To the extreme outside, the King of Rye-Hope, followed by Horatio Apples in the pale blue colours to the inside in roughly second last place, and So Many Roads is last as they jump the first hurdle on the stand-side part of the racecourse. So Grove Road and Regard are the front two, sharing the work as they climb the hill. And that pair are followed to the right by Glenavadra in the green and yellow jacket. To the left is Rock On Cowboy in the pink to the inside as they jump that hurdle. And then Cedar Row ahead of Horatio Apples. The King of Rye-Hope is to the right, and last of all, So Many Roads. And they've got one more hurdle to take before they set out for another circuit. So it's Regard and Grove Road coming to this hurdle. And they are separated by around about a length and a half. Glenavadra in third place. Not such a fluent jump there. The King of Rye-Hope, who is off the pace at present in the hands of Harry Skelton. So circuit to go. And it is Regard in front by about a half length. Grove Road second. Glenavadra is just about in third, with Rock On Cowboy next in the field. Cedar Row, Horatio Apples and the King of Rye-Hope follow, with So Many Roads giving them start. Down the side of the track, less than a mile and a half to cover. On the approach now to the sixth hurdle of the 11, and as they make their way down the side of the course, it is Regard, one of many in this lineup who started their lives on the point-to-point circuit. Regard in front of Grove Road, a Sedgefield bumper winner, the inside the beige dark blue for Adam Wedge. Glenavadra is still there to the outside, and just in behind the leader Cedar Row, followed by Rock On Cowboy, the King of Rye-Hope, Horatio Apples, and last of all, So Many Roads. Coming on towards this next hurdle, and they now climb as they approach this flight, and they are all over with about a mile to go. They've got 5 to jump, and Regard still leads by a length, with Grove Road second, and then a length and a half away to Glenavadra and Cedar Row. They are racing together, followed by Rock On Cowboys. They come on towards this next hurdle, and then the King of Rye-Hope, followed by Horatio Apples, and one who just lost out in the jumping department with a sluggish lead there was Rock On Cowboy. Back marker remains So Many Roads as this closely grouped field jumped the fourth last, and it was Regard wide of Grove Road. Those two from Glenavadra just been nudged along as Cedar Row tries to move into third and does so. Glenavadra now relegated to fourth. Then comes Horatio Apples, and the King of Rye-Hope is now on the move. So Many Roads and Rock On Cowboy, the last two. Rock On Cowboy being shoved along as they enter the final 5 furlongs of their journey. So making the run now towards the turn-in. 3 to jump, and it's Regard and Grove Road, and this pair have been sharing the work throughout. Cedar Road, the green and yellow quarters, is being pushed along. The King of Rye-Hope is coming there on the wide outside in the pink jacket as they jump the third last, and the lead is over okay, and it's his Grove Road just in front but having pressure applied, and to the right, to the near side running rail is the front travelling the King of Rye-Hope. Cedar Row banging contention between horses. So those three, Grove Road, Cedar Row and the King of Rye-Hope, are at the second last. On the near side it is the King of Rye-Hope. To the centre of the course, Grove Road, and those two now are booting on by several lengths to Regard, and then Horatio Apples. Cedar Row now back pedals, and then So Many Roads on the run down towards the last hurdle. Skelton's now having to work on the King of Rye-Hope, and it's Grove Road in front over the final flight. Grove Road in front by about a length or so on landing, and on the run in it's Grove Road holding the King of Rye-Hope at bay, and Grove Road is staying on very nicely to win for the first time over hurdles. Grove Road the winner, the King of Rye-Hope second, Horatio Apples third, and then Regard.
2 miles and 10 flights of hurdles for this opening racing in tomorrow Mare's Maiden Hurdle, and Feddens is the first one to show in front as they make the approach towards the first of the 10 flights. Feddens with the mediator on the inside of Crossgales Ophelia, disputing second and third, with behind those and four is Head of the Posse is on the inside. Joyo Machin with on the outside of these is In the Pocket. So as they continue the approach to the first flight, and on the outside Crossgales Ophelia jumps it marginally in front. All jump it safely with varying degrees of fluency. Fedden's gone back up on the inside now to lead again as they take flight number 2. Crossgales Ophelia gap some 4 to 5 lengths then back to the Mediator, who races in third. 4 on the inside is ahead of the Posse, who's in company with In the Pocket. They're followed by Joyo Machin as they begin to turn out of the back straight for the first time. A length or 2 then to find Transmission, who's on the outside of No Show. Joy of Life in company with those, and they've opened up a gap of some half a dozen lengths or more back to those at the rear of the field, headed by Tom Kelly, who's in front of Fortunate Lady. And Fortunate Lady is Tony Ram, and the back marker in the early stages is Graceful Mace. So swinging towards the turn in for the first time, and the 2 flights that await them therein. The lead is with Feddens and Conor Maxwell by a couple of lengths as they straighten up towards this third flight. Feddens going to lead there by about 2 to 3 lengths over Crossgales Ophelia in second for Charlie O'Dwyer. 4 to 5 lengths then to In the Pocket. A little bit clean on the outside for Rachel Blackmore, ahead of the Mediator and Jordan Gainford in 4. As the field just begin to get strung out a little bit more as they come up to pass the winning post with the circuit race. Back in 5th is Joyo Machin with Transmission on that one's outside, and the inside rail is ahead of the Posse. A length then to find Joy of Life, who's ahead of No Show. A couple of lengths to find Tom Kelly, who's in front of Tony Ram, and the back 2 Fortunate Lady and Grayson Mace as they meet the first flight in the final circuit, and shortly to make the left-handed swing to bring them towards the flight, which is a 5 in the finish. A little of change in the order. Feddens continues to take them along by 3 to 4 lengths over Crossgales Ophelia in second. Length and a half then to Mediator, who races third on the inside of In the Pocket. Joyo Machin is next on the outside of ahead of the Posse with Transmission on the outside of that duo. A length and a half then to find Joy of Life as they jump the 5th last flight. Behind Joy of Life races No Show, who's 3 to 4 lengths in front of Tony Ram. Grayson Mace has made up a place or 2 ahead of Fortunate Lady, and Tom Kelly's now dropped out to be the back marker. So as they pass the point of departure, and long run before they reach the flight, which is 4th of the finish. Feddens just tries to increase the tempo in front, leads by about 3 lengths to Crossgales Ophelia, who races in second. The Mediator is third, In the Pocket a close 4. 2 to 3 lengths then to find Joyo Machin, who's on the inside rather, with a couple of lengths behind that to ahead of the Posse. 3 lengths then to Joy of Life as they jump the 4th last flight, and Feddens extravagant jump lands 3 to 4 lengths in the lead over Crossgales Ophelia in second. The Mediator third, In the Pocket 4. Joyo Machin races 5 on the inside of Transmission in 6, and they're a few lengths in front of ahead of the Posse and Joy of Life, and they're drawing clear of the remainder. As they pass the half-mile point and continue the run towards the straight, Feddens the leader by 2.5 lengths. The Mediator races in second, Crossgales Ophelia with In the Pocket on the outside of that trio. Closing up behind those is Joyo Machin, who travels well. Transmission also travels well on the outside, and taking very much closer order moves into 4 for Sarah Kavanagh as they race towards the turn into the straight with about 2.5 furlongs left to race. Feddens on the inside rail. The Mediator and Jordan Gainford now tackle that one. Within the Pocket, the favourite comes there travelling on the outside for Rachel Blackmore, and Transmission is on the outside of these, a few lengths to Joyo Machin back in 5 as they jump the second last, and In the Pocket lands in the lead from Transmission in second. They go on from Joyo Machin, tries to stay on ahead of Feddens, and the Mediator is quickly beaten down to the final flight. In the Pocket is going to land 2.5 lengths in front of Transmission in second. Joyo Machin and Feddens third and 4. But as race up towards the finish, it's In the Pocket who's drawing clear and going on to win by some 4 to 5 lengths. Nice debut with this one for Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore and Jake McManus.
The end today to win a BMW does Irish beginner's chase. Sam's Profile, Volcano, tended by the Devil's Coachman. The 3 in a line, a couple of lengths in front of Churchstone Warrior, Dunboy next with Grandero Bello, and the back marker is definitely Darcy. About to link up with the first of 14 fences, Sam's Profile. First one into it from Volcano and the Devil's Coachman. Churchstone Warrior next with Grandero Bello, Dunboy and definitely Darcy. Making the bend towards the second fence, and it's Sam's Profile, shifting on in front by length. Second place, Volcano. And the Devil's Coachman, Churchstone Warrior with the back 3. Facing the second fence, Grandero Bello, Dunboyne, and definitely Darcy. Sam's Profile into the next. The Devil's Coachman, Tad Sticky, goes third to Churchstone Warrior. As they come up to their final 2.25 miles. Sam's Profile by 2 lengths to Volcano. Churchstone Warrior rejoined for third by the Devil's Coachman, then Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. Next, Sam's Profile up and over from Volcano, the Devil's Coachman, Churchstone Warrior, Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. Little changes going to the first ditch. Sam's Profile, Dad O'Keefe in front of Volcano and Debbie Russell, the Devil's Coachman. Walsh, Churchstone Warrior, Dennis O'Regan. And there's a gap back to the final couple, Dunboyne, Keith Donoghue and Definitely Darcy, Luke Dempsey. Coming away from the last of the fences up the far side. Sam's Profile, the leader from Volcano, Churchstone Warrior, the Devil's Coachman fourth. So 1 or 2 fences up the far side. With the noseband behind those. 5th place, Grandero Bello, and then Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. Downhill to fences 6 and 7. Pace is quite steady. Sam's Profile leads Volcano, the red cab. Churchstone Warrior on the inside of the Devil's Coachman, then Grandero Bello. Sam's Profile misjudged that one. Heading towards number 7. Sam's Profile over the next from Volcano, the Devil's Coachman. Churchstone Warrior, Grandero Bello. Then Dunboyne, last of the 7, is Definitely done. Coming up to the end of their first circuit, 7 more fences left to jump. They head for the halfway stage. In race 2, they purchased by 3 p.m. today to win a BMW.EI GDF Beginners Chase. Still very little changes from first to last. It's Sam's Profile. From a layoff, leads in length, Volcano, then the Devil's Coachman, Churchstone Warrior, Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. 1 circuit to go and 7 fences to jump that inside halfway. Sam's Profile upholds a 1.5 length advantage over Volcano, matching strides for the third. The Devil's Coachman and Churchstone Warrior, followed by Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. Fence number 8, taking them out on their second and final circuit. 7 from the finish, Sam's Profile yet to be headed, Volcano second, then the Devil's Coachman, locked for the 3rd place with Churchstone Warrior, Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. A mile to go, 6 fences left to jump, and it's Sam's Profile lobbing along with an extending 3 to 4 length advantage. Another fluent jump by the front runner. Volcano second and Churchstone Warrior and the Devil's Coachman. As these move on from Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. 7 furlongs to go, 5 fences left to jump. And it's Sam's Profile by 3 lengths to Volcano, then Churchstone Warrior and the Devil's Coachman. Grandero Bello next, and then Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy as they head for the final ditch. This will be 4 fences from the finish. And it's Sam's Profile attempting to make every yard of the run. Pursued all the while by Volcano, then Churchstone Warrior and the Devil's Coachman, who made a slight mistake, and then Grandero Bello, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. 3rd last fence, the top end of the back straight. Sam's Profile over from Volcano, the Devil's Coachman, Churchstone Warrior. The back marker of the leaders is Grandero Bello, both ridden along, Dunboyne and Definitely Darcy. Turning at the top with 2 fences left to jump. Heading down into the dip, Sam's Profile. From the Devil's Coachman looming on the outside of Volcano. Churchstone Warrior in 4th place. And then Grandero Bello as they come down towards the final 2 fences. Sam's Profile on the inside of Volcano. The Devil's Coachman out wide, followed by Churchstone Warrior and Grandero Bello over the second last. And the Devil's Coachman jumps up to join the long-time leader, Sam's Profile, over the last. And it's the Devil's Coachman, the fractional leader. Sam's Profile goes back on terms. Volcano right in behind them is Grandero Bello. Churchstone Warrior has dropped a few lengths off them in a 5th. And it's the Devil's Coachman round the outside of Sam's Profile. Volcano's in 3rd, and then Grandero Bello as they straighten for the final furlong and a half. And it is the Devil's Coachman and Mark Walsh from Sam's Profile, and Dad O'Keefe keeping the favourite honest. It is the Devil's Coachman. Churchstone Warriors getting a renewed effort on the far side of Grandero Bello, and then Volcano. It's the Devil's Coachman in front and looks to be holding all comers going to the line. It's the Devil's Coachman opening his account on his return to chasing, seeing off Churchstone Warrior, Grandero Bello Volcano, and Sam's Profile tied out of it into 5th place.
The grey jacket between horses is You Betcha as they jump the first, and over the first there we have lost Half Track. Half Track has unseated the rider. Half Track is out of the race at fence number 1. On towards the open ditch, fence number 2 coming up very quickly, and over the ditch, bit of a coming together there between Grey Skies and Frima de Lancre, and it's High Stakes who has the overall advantage. High Stakes with You Betcha in the grey silks right there, with Donny Boy now a place in front of it on the run down the hill. So it's High Stakes, Donny Boy and You Betcha, followed by Grey Skies in the white and black jacket out wide. Frima de Lancre yellow silks is in the mix as they make the run down the hill, and it looks as though they're going to bypass that first fence in the straight. So as they head now up the hill to these plain fences, and it is High Stakes in front. High Stakes from Donny Boy, and then You Betcha. Grey Skies to the outside of Frima de Lancre, and they are being followed by Harper's Brook and Bold Endeavour, who gets a shout in midfield. Iron Bridge is next, and Viva La Ville in the black colours with No Regrets alongside, and they climb the hill. So they make the run now towards the second of the 3 plain fences on this side of the track, and it is High Stakes in the centre. High Stakes, You Betcha is to the right, Donny Boy is to the left in the black quartered jacket. Frima de Lancre behind the leaders with Grey Skies, and then over to the inside is Harper's Brook. Bold Endeavour is between runners as they jump that one. No Regrets is off the pace with Iron Bridge and Viva La Villa. So coming up towards the stands, a circuit still to go, and the pace is with High Stakes, and Henry Brook. High Stakes leads by around about a length, with Donny Boy on the inside running rail. You Betcha close third. Frima de Lancre, Grey Skies, Bold Endeavour and Harper's Brook they follow, with No Regrets out wide. Iron Bridge going the shortest way in the green and yellow quartered jacket, and between horses the black colours of Viva La Villa. So coming on down the hill, heading now out into the country, going on towards the next fence. They've got 2 fences down the side of the course. It's fence number 7 in total, and it is High Stakes in front. High Stakes by about a half length, with Donny Boy on the inside of You Betcha. So they're occupying the first 3 spots, and close up is Grey Skies to the outside. Bold Endeavour is just in behind them, with the Frima de Lancre next, and No Regrets and Sean Quinlan on the wide outside, followed by Iron Bridge, Harper's Brook, and right there with that rear division is Viva La Villa. So coming on towards this next plain fence, and that's it. Grey Skies is coming through now to share the work, and it's You Betcha, Grey Skies and High Stakes is in the maroon quarters to the inside. They're the front wave at this plain one, and they are going over. Very careful jump from the back marker, No Regrets. So the end of the final mile. So going down the far side of the track, and it is High Stakes, You Betcha and Grey Skies. They are the front 3 as they take that fence. Donny Boy's a few lengths away, being followed by Harper's Brook on the outside. Frima de Lancre, then Bold Endeavour, Viva La Viva and Iron Bridge, and No Regrets is struggling to keep up, and this is a ditch, and it was High Stakes, Grey Skies. A blunder there from Bold Endeavour, and Adam Wedge had to sit tight on that occasion. This is the last fence down the far side, and the pace now just cranking up, with High Stakes has been there throughout. You Betcha, grey colours between horses. Grey Skies to the outside. Donny Boy just in behind them. Pink colours of Harper's Brook trying to close in. Black jacket of Viva La Viva, and Iron Bridge has been given a very patient ride. Iron Bridge just closing in steadily now for John Joe Neal Jr. Frima de Lancre is getting tapped for Tober, is clear of No Regrets, and after that bad blunder, Bold Endeavour's virtually out of it. On the climb to the final 3 fences, High Stakes, You Betcha and Donny Boy, followed by Grey Skies and Harper's Brook in close contention, and Grey Skies belted that pretty hard. Iron Bridge is trying to get on terms. Viva la Villa is under pressure and getting tapped for toe as they climb the hill to the last quarter of a mile, and they've got 2 to jump, and Harper's Brook has come there with a big run, and Harper's Brook has taken over now. From High Stakes, You Betcha, they're staying on Iron Bridge. Donny Boy is following, a furlong and a half to go, and it is Harper's Brook that Iron Bridge is taking aim, and over the final fence Iron Bridge has jumped on, and on the run in it is Iron Bridge in front with a mud splattered John Joe O'Neill Jr. doing the steering of this hitherto unbeaten son of Milan. Iron Bridge striding right away for an impressive performance in a hot novices event. It is Iron Bridge, the winner, remains unbeaten. Iron Bridge, Harper's Brook second place, Race On for third, You Betcha just third from Viva la Villa.
F1 to stand back in February. Looks like they're coming in, so we'll get up to Justin.
And they're off. Just over 2 circuits to race over this 2.5 mile trip and 14 flights to jump. And the early stages, they turn in towards the 2 flights in the straight. Bit of competition for the lead, but no hectic gallop on early. Sheephaven Flyer and towards the inside, Neff and Beg are 2 of the first to show. With in the centre is On the Tide. It's taking a very keen hold indeed for Brian Hayes as they come to flight number 2. On the Tide with Neff and Beg on the inside, these 2 jumping first and second, and all 14 have jumped the first 2 flights safely as they come up to past the winning post. 2 complete circuits to race, and Jarian just seemed to pitch there for a stride or 2, but very, very sedate pace on early on, being headed by Neff and Beg, and On the Tide a length and a half in front as they approach flight number 3 of the red jacket of Abbeydale, who's on the inside. Sheephaven Flyer in the mostly yellow jacket, but on the outside of these the green and white of Sumali jumps at disputing third place. Japers Jack in the black cap is just in behind those, followed by Jariam in the red jacket, with upsides that one the royal blue jacket of Miss Agartha Yates. Vosito in the orange and black quarters is on the inside. But they've jumped 3 and continued their very steady way, a left-handed swing to bring them towards flight number 4 on the inside. Neff and Beg is the leader. From in second place is On the Tide, a length and a half in front of Abbeydale, who shows third, with Sheephaven Flyer on the outside of Japers Jack, and Sumali next with Jariam. On the inside of these races Slaney Bank and Abbeydale just in front of that, and they're followed as they make the run down the far side by another one in a red jacket with a mostly blue cap, Happy Wife, Happy Life with Vosito. Miss Agartha Yates is next, and they're followed by Aide de Camp, and a couple of lengths behind those, the back 2 are Suit Yourself, who's on the outside of Rev de Gal. So continuing the run towards flight number 5 and over it, the tempo maybe just picking up fractionally, with on the inside On the Tide the leader now. From in second place is Neff and Beg, a length then to Sheephaven Flyer, who shows third as they approach flight number 6. Jariam is next, and that one's outside, and they're followed a length or so back by Japers Jack with Sumali towards the outside of this group, followed then by Abbeydale, who's on the inside of Happy Wife, Happy Life. Slaney Bank in the blue and white star jacket is on the outside of that group, followed a length back by Vosito, who's on the inner, the orange and black, in company with Miss Agartha Yates, who's making up a few places on the outside. Aide de Camp is next in the field, a couple of lengths in front of Suit Yourself, and the back marker getting quite detached at the back of the field now is the back marker Rev de Gal. So as they head towards the turn into the straight for the second time, and towards the roughly the halfway stage, past the point of departure, and Jariam and Paddy O'Hanlon have now pulled its way through on the inside to just take over the lead as they jump the first of the 2 flights in the straight. From On the Tide in second, Sheephaven Flyer and Neff and Beg 3 and 4, with Slaney Bank just in behind those in 5. On the outside of these races Sumali in the striped cap, who's a length or so in front of Happy Wife, Happy Life in the striped sleeves. Well, that one's inside is Japers Jack. Abbeydale is next to the rail behind those, in company with Vosito, with Miss Agartha Yates on the outside of that duo, followed then by Aide de Camp, Suit Yourself, and a few lengths to Rev de Gal. Onto the final circuit they go, and come to the flight, which is 6 from the finish. On the inside it's Jariam and Paddy O'Hanlon, and a mistake there by Neff and Beg, just jumped the flight slightly sideways, with Sheephaven Flyer on that one's upsides that one at the time. So as they make the left-handed swing to bring them towards the final 5 flights, and the final mile or so of this contest. And Jariam has now gone on, opened up a 3 to 4 length lead. In second place is Rail to Biog on the inside of On the Tide. They're followed by Sheep Haven Flyer, Slaney Bank, Sumali next with Happy Wife, Happy Life, Abbey Dale on the inside. Vosito is on the tail of that group, followed length or so back by Miss Agarth the 8th with Ada Comp on the inside of that one. Japers Jack has dropped back a few places with Suit Yourself, but a very tightly bunched chasing group at least. Head down inside the final 5 or 6 furlongs and head towards the 4th flight from the finish. And Jariam leads by about 2 to 3 lengths. Length and a half now is closing up on the outside once again is On the Tide to get within a length. They're followed by Sheep Haven Flyer, who's third on the inside of Slaney Bank. Neffenbeg is behind those with Happy Wife, Happy Life on the outside of Japers Jack, who's trying to get into contention. Vosito and Abbeydale just behind those, ahead of 8 de Comp and Miss Agarth the 8s, and they've gone on from the remainder. At the flight 3 from the finish, just over half a mile to race, and on the inside Jariam in company with On the Tide. They jumped a length and a half in front of Sheep Haven Flyer, Slaney Bank. Happy Wife, Happy Life getting closer all the time on the outside. Neffenbeg is next on the inner, followed then by Japers Jack, and behind Japers Jack races Vosito. We're heading towards the turn into the straight, less than half a mile to race, and it's absolutely anyone's race. On the Tide travels well on the outside, leads by half a length from Jariam. Happy Wife, Happy Life next, Sheep Haven Flyer. Vosito tries to get out of the outside, being tracked through by Miss Agarth the 8s, and they're followed by 8 de Comp, and Abbey is still there on the inside as they swing towards the final 2 flights. And On the Tide is the leader from Jariam. Abbey and Jordan Gateman move up strongly on the inside. On the outside, Miss Agarth the 8s in company with Vosito as they straighten up towards the second last flight. And on the inside, Abbey mistake by On the Tide when still in contention. Miss Agarth the 8s now tackles the leader on the outside for Sean O'Keefe. Heading down towards the final flight, Abbey the far side. On the stand side, Miss Agarth the 8s, nothing between them, they stretch clear. Racing inside the final 150 yards. On the near side, Miss Agarth the 8s on the far side, Abbey Miss Agarth the 8s and Abbey up to the line. Miss Agarth the 8s on the stand side, possibly just from Abbey but it's close. And they pull clear of Japers Jack, stayed on to be third. 4 behind those, 8 de Comp ahead of On the Tide and Sheep Haven Flyer.
No, he was rated 166 at his height. He's running off 130 today.
Off in over 2 3/4 miles. The Marlin Hotel Dublin supporting the National Breast Cancer Research Institute handicap chase. 14 fences to jump. They're spread across the track. Prominent winner of last year's edition, Theatre World with the Greys Farcer de Large, It Could Be You. Right with them is Flash to Zane, followed by History of Fashion. Small break then to Real Steel and Mika Malpic, and Stormy next on the inside. Then comes Dead Heat, Cavanagh's Corner and Snugs for a Benny. Farcer de Large, slight mistake of the first. Theatre World up to the bend, just leads Flash to Zane, It Could Be You, Farcer de Large, History of Fashion, Real Steel and Mika Malpic next with Stormy. Final 3 heading to the second fence, Dead Heat, Cavanagh's Corner and Snugs for a Benny. Over the second, Theatre World landed with a half a length advantage over It Could Be You, Flash to Zane. These 3 covered by a couple of lengths. Close up and fourth is Farcer de Large, and then History of Fashion and Real Steel, Mika Malpic next, and then Dead Heat and Stormy, Cavanagh's Corner, and finally Snugs for a Benny. Heading to fence number 3, the field has compacted a little bit more. Theatre World over the next from Farcer de Large, jumping up into second place ahead of It Could Be You and Flash to Zane, and then History of Fashion. A ditch to contend with now, fence number 4. And it's Theatre World almost joined by Farcer de Large and Flash to Zane. It Could Be You next with History of Fashion, Real Steel and Mika Malpic. Stormy is 3 behind Dead Heat, Cavanagh's Corner and Snugs for a Benny. Finish off their jumping in the back straight the first circuit. Change of leader, Farcer de Large presses on from Theatre World. Flash to Zane shares third with It Could Be You, and then History of Fashion, Real Steel and Mika Malpic. Stormy next and Dead Heat, Cavanagh's Corner and Snugs for a Benny. As they head downhill to fences 6 and 7. Farcer de Large the leader from Theatre World. On the outside, Flash to Zane, followed by It Could Be You, the striped cap, History of Fashion next, and then Real Steel, Storm, Mika Malpic, Dead Heat, Snugs for the Benny, Cavanagh's Corner. Quickly on to fence number 7, and the final fence next time, Farcer de Large, rejoined by both Flash to Zane and Theatre World. moving on a good 3 lengths in front. The fourth running, It Could Be You, as they come back to the point at which they started. After It Could Be You, it's History of Fashion. Dead Heat is creeping up on the outside, and Stormy. Real Steel has lost a bit of ground, and then Mika Malpic, Snugs Bit of Benny, and Kavanagh's Corner. At the end of a circuit, heading for the halfway stage in race 3, the Marlin Hotel Dublin, supporting the National Breast Cancer Research Institute handicap chase. It's Farsour de Large in front by a length and a half to Flash to Zane. Theatre World relegated to third, having made most of the running through the first circuit. And then It Could Be You, History of Fashion, Mika Malpic and Real Steel going to the fence, which was their first. Number 8 this time, Farsour de Large into it, accompanying with Flash to Zane. Real Steel, slight mistake in between Stormy and Mika Malpic. Just over a mile left to go. 6 fences to jump. Farsour de Large, Flash to Zane. Closely fortified Could Be You. Theatre World has dropped another place to fourth in History of Fashion. Real Steel trying to come again ahead of Mika Malpic and Dead Heat and Stormy. Kavanagh's Corner, Snugs Bit of Benny. Away from that, which was 6 fences from the finish, Farsour de Large by a neck, no more. Flash to Zane second, and then Theatre World, and It Could Be You. Real Steel, History of Fashion, Dead Heat, Mika Malpic. 7 furlongs to go, 5 fences to jump. The leaders are followed by Stormy, Kavanagh's Corner, and Snugs Bit of Benny back at the rear once more. Farsour de Large just breasted that fence, and it's Flash to Zane, who nudges on ahead of Farsour de Large. Then Theatre World, It Could Be You. Dead Heat next with Mika Malpic. Final ditch, 4 fences from the finish. Farsour de Large put down and losing Kavanagh's Corner. Parts company with Conor Brassel. Both horse and rider quickly up. Third last fence, and it's Flash to Zane jumping on in front from Farsour de Large and Theatre World. They're still right with the leaders, and then It Could Be You, Mika Malpic, Real Steel, Stormy, Dead Heat, and Snugs Bit of Benny. Just over 4 furlongs to go. 2 fences left to jump, and it's Flash to Zane, with Manny queuing up and behind the leader. Farsour de Large, Theatre World, It Could Be You, Mika Malpic, Stormy on the outside, Dead Heat, and then Real Steel and Snugs Bit of Benny. Tailing off and about to be pulled up is History of Fashion. The second last, Flash to Zane over, comes to the final fence with a widening advantage. Flash to Zane at the last. From Farsour de Large, Theatre World, and then Real Steel, who plugs on ahead of Mika Malpic, and then It Could Be You, Stormy, and Dead Heat. Rounding the bend for home. Quarter of a mile to go, and the Marlin Hotel Dublin supporting the National Breast Cancer Research Institute handicap chase, and the one they've got to catch into the straight. Flash to Zane from Real Steel in second, and then Farsour de Large. It Could Be You next with Mika Malpic and Theatre World. Meeting the final furlong, and it's Flash to Zane and Richie Deegan in front from Real Steel and Conor McNamara on the far side. These two with the finish to themselves, going away from It Could Be You, Mika Malpic and Farsour de Large, but grinding it out is Flash to Zane, coming well clear to win it from Real Steel, Mika Malpic, Farsour de Large. It Could Be You.
And they're off racing for the visitracingtv.com handicap hurdle race. A Plaus with the pink and purple jacket is wide of Lovely Moon, and those two race on down the hill ahead of Happy de Manil, and then Captain Ivan, who's back in a 4th position, a couple of lengths to Somewhat Cloudy the mare, who's alongside a Serious Ego in the dark blue and white silks, wears Hector yellow jacket to the rail, and of course winner War Verge at the back. This is the first of 9 hurdles, and it's a Plaus who leads them over it on the run up the hill from a Lovely Moon. And this pair are about 3 lengths in advance of Happy de Manil and Adam Wedge, with Captain Ivan and Richie McClernand next. Dual hurdle scorer Serious Ego is to the inside as a Plaus jumps in front there at a flight number 2 and continuing their run towards the enclosures. The rear division include a Somewhat Cloudy, Where's Hector and War Verge. So it's still a Plaus, widest of all, from a Lovely Moon and Jonathan Bewley as they now face up to this hurdle, number 3. and Happy de Menil landed in third. A bit of an awkward leap there from Where's Hector, just clipped the top bar, stumbled fractionally at the back end of the field, but there's no pace on as they come up towards the judge. A circuit to go. It's Applaus and Lovely Moon. Those two are in front of Happy de Menil, who's on the inside in the green and white hoops. Captain Ivan alongside, couple of lengths to Somewhat Cloudy, then Serious Ego, War Verge and Where's Hector. So they run downhill and on the run to the fourth flight. And as they continue this progress to the back straight, it is still Applaus and Lovely Moon. Applaus, former winner of this race, won it 2 years ago. Applaus wide of Lovely Moon. Captain Ivan in the blue and yellow diamond jacket without the tongue strap, now racing between horses. And those three are ahead of Happy de Menil, Somewhat Cloudy, Serious Ego, War Verge and Where's Hector. Coming on towards the fourth with Applaus, Lovely Moon and Captain Ivan wanting to share that work with them as they come to it. Over they go, and back marker on landing was Where's Hector. Taking the turn and starting their run down the far side. They've got 5 to jump, less than a mile to go, and it's a Lovely Moon closest to the running rail with Captain Ivan between runners and Applaus on the outside. Happy de Menil is about 2 lengths away, followed by Somewhat Cloudy, who's in the maroon and blue jacket. They jump that hurdle. War Verge, Serious Ego and Where's Hector follow. Where's Hector just a few lengths detached from the main body of them as they go towards the last hurdle on the far side. And it was Applaus and Captain Ivan with Lovely Moon in the pink jacket at the inside, just being shoved along now as Somewhat Cloudy is on the wide outside, tries to close in. Happy de Menil has been handy throughout. And between runners in this downhill run is War Verge, who's closing as well. Serious Ego is just in behind them, less than 5 furlongs to go. And last of all is Where's Hector's been driven along there, just getting tapped for a bit of toe as they hit the foot of the hill. About a half mile to go, 3 to jump, and Applaus bidding for his second win in this particular race, leads by about a length. But War Verge, last year's runner-up, is coming there in the black and white quarters, and Somewhat Cloudy's all holding every chance as they jump that hurdle. It's all change up front. The front few are then being followed by Captain Ivan and Serious Ego. They're being shoved along. Happy de Menil driven has lost ground. Where's Hector hasn't landed a blow. And Lovely Moon has dropped away. And at the second last, War Verge has jumped to the front and is galloping on very nicely as they come on up the hill. War Verge with a confident looking Nathan Mosscrop. He's taking a look over his shoulder and he's looking through his wing mirrors and he's a few lengths clear with War Verge. Applaus in second place, followed by Somewhat Cloudy and Captain Ivan, and up and over safely at the final hurdle is War Verge. War Verge, a recent course winner. War Verge will win here again, second in this race 12 months ago, and a dominant force this year. War Verge eased down to win, former winner of the race. Applaus second, Somewhat Cloudy third, and then Captain Ivan.
It's My Design and Kieran Buckley taking them along by about 2 to 3 lengths over Martha Devine and Sean O'Keefe in second. A length or so in front, a length and a half in front of Return to Base and Jordan Gainford racing third on the inside of Rocco Bay and Kevin Sexton. A length then to Champella and Tom Harney, 3 to 4 lengths back to Caddyshack and John Berry, the back marker of the 6. So as they come to flight number 5, the lead continues to be held by My Design, jumping well out in front and is 3 to 4 in front. Of in second place, Martha Devine, a length and a half then to Rocco Bay, and Return to Base continue to dispute 3 and 4. A couple of lengths in front of Champella, and Caddyshack continues to bring up the rear as they begin to exit the back straight and head on the long run to bring them towards the 2 flights in the straight for the second time. No change in the order, not much change in the tempo either, as My Design continues to take them along. A little bit of a more tightly bunched group head towards the turn to the straight for the second time. Martha Devine is with a length and a half in second. Rocco Bay is third on the outside of Return to Base. Champella, Tom Harney pulls his goggles down, and Caddyshack continues to be the back marker of the 6. As they come to the first of the 2 flights in the straight for the penultimate time, My Design lands in the lead. Martha Divine second. Rocco Bay, return to base on the inside. Champella Traxon, Caddyshack the back marker as they jump flight number 8, which will be the last in a circuit's time, and head up past the winning post. My Design continuing to take them along. Rocco Bay has now moved into second within a length and a half of the leader. Martha Divine relegated to third with return to base 4 on the inside of Champella 5, and Caddyshack, although the back mark of the 6 is remaining in touch at this stage, just being bumped along for a straight or 2 after that flight. So as they make the left-handed swing, with 5 flights left to jump in this Irish Stallion Farms European Breeders' Fund Mares Hurdle. And the lead continues to be held by My Design, who approaches the 5th last flight with a length and a half advantage over Rocco Bay. Good jump in the second, brings it within a length. Return to base, a close third on the inside of both Champella and Martha Divine, who's lost a couple of places but still well in touch with the leader, and they're a few lengths in front of Caddyshack, who's just beginning to get that little bit more detached at the back of the 6-runner field. So into the back straight they race with about 3/4 of a mile or so left to run, and it's My Design continues to take them along for Kieran Buckley, 3 parts of length in front of Rocco Bay and Kevin Sexton a close second. Martha Divine and Sean O'Keefe poking her nose through on the outside to join issue for third with return to base 4 on the inside of her Jordan Gainford. Mistake there by return to base. Good jump on the outside by Champella, and Tom Harney takes it into third. Martha Divine in 5th, and they're a few lengths in front of Caddyshack as they jump to third last. 5 furlongs left to race. My Design the leader, Rocco Bay on the outside in second. Going back third on the inside now is return to base ahead of Champella 4. Martha Divine within 2 lengths of the lead in 5, and they pull away from Caddyshack. Inside the final half mile, and still all to play for as the race towards the turn into the straight. And My Design has dictated matters out in front, leads by a length to Rocco Bay in second. Champella travels well, with return to base 4 on the inside, a length or so now to Martha Divine, who's beginning to get a bit, Sean O'Keefe beginning to get a bit more serious with his mount. Back in 5th spot, and they're clear as they head towards the turn into the straight. 2 flights left to jump when they swing in, and it's My Design with Champella moving up on the inside now to almost join issue, in fact take it up, fractionally lead as they come down towards the second last. Champella and My Design jump at first and second. My Design slightly out to her right. On the inside, Champella, they pull clear now, return to base, and Martha Divine as they come to the final flight. My Design, Champella still boxing on over on the far side as they race inside the final 150 yards on the stand side. My Design, the far side, Champella, and Champella is just beginning to assert close home and go on in the closing stages, and it's Champella and Tom Harney go on to win by a length and a half in the end from My Design in.
Next within the stripes, Eddie's Pride. Next is Hope Coburn, 4 Country Roads the back marker. Onto the second fence they go. Gary Forgine just picks it up from King Ferdinand. My Friend the Wind, Enemy Public, a slow jump by Grimsby Lad. Back to mid-division as they make tracks to fence number 3. Matching strides, Gary Forgine and King Ferdinand, a length in front of My Friend the Wind. Then Enemy Public, Diamond Grove, Grimsby Lad working back up to the leaders, and then Captain Jimmy in front of the crowd, and Eddie's Pride in Silvertown, Hope Coburn, Oak Creek Bridge, 4 Country Roads as they jump fence number 3. King Ferdinand leads to the 4th, the first ditch. Gary Forgine to these 2 leaders. It's My Friend the Wind and Enemy Public and Diamond Grove. They take that fence. Again, all safely over. King Ferdinand, Michael O'Sullivan, going to the last up the far side. Just leading, Gary Forgine and Kid Callan. On the inside is Diamond Grove, Philippine Wright. My Friend the Wind, Conor McNamara. In between those 2 is Enemy Public and Robbie Dunn. Eddie's Pride is improved onto the heels of the leaders, then follow the crowd and Captain Jimmy in Silvertown and Grimsby Lad. Look back once more towards rear division. But all standing, heading down to fences 6 and 7 and the Glenman Corporation Handicap Chase. King Ferdinand rejoined by Gary Forgine and My Friend the Wind. Diamond Grove, Enemy Public, continuing to take closer order is Eddie's Pride, and then follow the crowd and Captain Jimmy and Grimsby Lad and Hope Coburn, then Silvertown, Owl Creek Bridge and 4 Country Roads. Climbing back for the approach to the straight with 1 circuit to go. Good run before they reach fence number 8 past the stand, and it'll be 7 from the finish, and there's 3 vying for the lead. My Friend the Wind moves up to both Gary Forgine and King Ferdinand. The 3 are abreast. Followed after a break a few lengths, Diamond Grove, then Enemy Public, and Follow the Crowd, and Eddie's Pride, and Hope Coburn, and Captain Jimmy next with Silvertown. Final 3, 1 circuit to go. Grimsbury Lad, 4 Country Roads, and Owl Creek Bridge. Gary Forgine, My Friend the Wind, keeping stand side rail. On the far side is King Ferdinand, followed by Diamond Grove and Eddie's Pride, and Enemy Public next with Follow the Crowd, moving a little bit closer to the white cap and hoop colours. They were a fence number 8, taking them out on their second and final circuit. 3 across the fence, My Friend the Wind, hit that hard. Conor McNamara set tight. King Ferdinand back a length in front. Gary Forgine, My Friend the Wind has recovered. On the inside, Follow the Crowd with Diamond Grove and Enemy Public and Eddie's Pride and Captain Jimmy and Silvertown. On the inside, Hope Coburn, then Owl Creek Bridge, 4 Country Roads, and these go on from Grimsbury Lad. Flown jump by King Ferdinand at that, and extended the advantage over Gary Forgine, who on the level goes back up on turn. Diamond Grove and My Friend the Wind and Enemy Public and Follow the Crowd and Eddie's Pride and Captain Jimmy and Silvertown next with Hope Coburn. Passing the 7th pole, 5 fences left to jump, and it's King Ferdinand and Gary Forgine continuing up front. My Friend the Wind, Diamond Grove, Enemy Public and Follow the Crowd next with Eddie's Pride. 3/4 of a mile left to go. They're heading to the second last fence up the far side in their final ditch. It's King Ferdinand, Gary Forgine and My Friend the Wind. Over the next, King Ferdinand, slight mistake, but got to the other side. Heads to the third last fence, attended by Gary Forgine and My Friend the Wind, and then Diamond Grove and Follow the Crowd, who landed a little steeply on the inside. And then Captain Jimmy and Eddie's Pride as they turn, with 5 furlongs to go and 2 fences left to jump. King Ferdinand and Gary Forgine, nothing between them. Then My Friend the Wind, Diamond Grove, Enemy Public and Follow the Crowd and Captain Jimmy, and then Eddie's Pride, followed by Silvertown and Hope Coburn, Grimsbury Lad, 4 Country Roads and Owl Creek Bridge. They head down towards the final 2 fences, and they're spread across the track. King Ferdinand on the inside of Gary Forgine. Chartering a wider course is My Friend the Wind. As they head for the final fence, Captain Jimmy joins the leaders with Diamond Grove. There's 5 in a line. Over the last they go. King Ferdinand from Captain Jimmy. My Friend the Wind on the outside. Then Diamond Grove and Gary Forgine next with Follow the Crowd and Enemy Public. These go away from Eddie's Pride. Racing round the home turn, and it's My Friend the Wind and Captain Jimmy locked together. With less than 2 furlongs to go in the Glenman Corporation Handicap Chase, and these 2 have readily gone clear from Follow the Crowd. King Ferdinand, Gary Forgine next, but it's Captain Jimmy and Aaron Anderson over on the far side from My Friend the Wind, and Conor McNamara out in front of Follow the Crowd, and Mark Walsh running up towards the finish. Captain Jimmy, My Friend the Wind is coming, fighting back on the stand side. They're going to the line, neck and neck. Captain Jimmy on the far side of My Friend the Wind. Follow the Crowd in third, and Gary Forgine and Eddie's Pride, with a gap back then to Diamond Grove as the others finishing in a trickle in behind what was a good finish.
Turn to racing action after a layoff and jumping fences for the first time in public. Bear Gills now frightened supporters at fence 2, but was much better at fence 3. Leaving the back straight behind them then, and it is Manila Drama, the leader. Leads by about 3 lengths on this downhill run from Bear Gills in second place, and then Beauport, another chasing debutant, running in third, and a few lengths to Miller's Bank, who didn't get very far last week in the old roan chase at Aintree, only got as far as the first fence on that occasion, but a Grade 1 winner at the national meeting in the spring. Pale Jacket Miller's Bank sits to the outside of Cheltenham Festival winner Korak Rambler in the purple silks. Then comes the mare Burrows Diamond, and Upton Road is at the back as they jump the fence at the foot of the hill. So climbing the hill, 2 plain fences to jump before they get to the winning post this time round, and it's Manila Drama in front for Brian Hughes coming to it. Manila Drama by around about 3 or 4 lengths to Bear Gills, who landed in second place. Beauport and Jordan Naylor is sitting in third. Korak Rambler is next, then Burrows Diamond, Miller's Bank and Upton Road, and they are all over the 6th. Coming up towards the stands, and it is still Manila Drama in front. Manila Drama, winner of a couple of races last season over fences. Manila Drama in front of this field by a nice 5 lengths uncontested lead from Bear Gills in second. Beauport in third. Corrack Rambler is next. Then there comes Miller's Bank, Burrows Diamond, and Upton Road is the back markers. They set out for the final circuit. Going on down the hill, and Manila Drama is the leader, with Bear Gills and James Bowen in second spot, and a few lengths away is Beauport, who's being followed by Corrack Rambler, with Miller's Bank and Keelan Woods to the outside. Burrows Diamond is next, and last of all is Upton Road. On this run now to the 7th fence, and Manila Drama on this, here's a seasonal reappearance, comes down the hill. Manila Drama from Bear Gills, with Beauport continuing to follow the front two. Miller's Bank is wide of Corrack Rambler, and then comes Burrows Diamond, and Upton Road remains at the back as they take that plain fence. Another one to jump on this side of the track. Manila Drama still 5 clear, stands off that one. Manila Drama in front, and really testing them now as they go across the top end of the racecourse. So they've got 6 to jump, and it's Manila Drama about 5 clear of Bear Gills, another 3 to Beauport as they jump the first down the back. They're followed by Miller's Bank, Corrack Rambler and Upton Road, with Burrows Diamond off the pace, coming now to the open ditch. Midway down the far side, Manila Drama's made every yard of it so far, and there was no mistake that time for Bear Gills. A small error from Miller's Bank, where Bear Gills was asked for a big jump by James Bowen and responded. Last fence down the far side is now jumped, and it's Manila Drama, Bear Gills, Beauport 1, 2 and 3. The red jacket nosebander, that is Upton Road, who's trying to get into it. Miller's Bank is still alongside. Corrack Rambler's getting outpaced, and Burrows Diamond is also under pressure to keep up as they make the run down the hill. So it is Manila Drama with 3 fences to face on the climb. Manila Drama and Brian Hughes by about 5 or 6 lengths to Bear Gills. Beauport, no serious move yet from 3rd placed horse Beauport. Miller's Bank is following. The Corrack Ramblers trying to rally, haven't been tapped for toe on the downhill run. Upton Road now, that one is backpedaling. Then Burrows Diamond, they're on the run now to the second last, and it is still Manila Drama being chased by Bear Gills and Beauport. Then Miller's Bank, 2 from home. Manila Drama just shortened up on the approach. The lead greatly reduced now on the run to the final furlong and a half. It's Manila Drama, but being pestered by 3 others. Bear Gills, Beauport and Miller's Bank on the wide outside, and Beauport is the new leader. Jumps to the front. Bear Gills made a mistake at the final fence. A furlong left to go, and it's chasing debutant now. Beauport in front, but Miller's Bank, a Grade 1 winner, is after Beauport. 100 yards left to go. It's Beauport who's all out. Miller's Bank down the outside, really running on. Beauport tries to hold on, and just so Beauport wins. Miller's Bank 2nd place, and they're followed in 3rd by Bear Gills and Manila Drama.
Behind Sir Gerhard at Leopard's Town, and finished 3rd in the county hurdle as well. But it does look like they're coming in. Champagne Vacation in the far line along with Fox the Bell get up to Justin.
As they swing towards the straight, towards the first of the 14 flights to be jumped in this 2.5 miler. The lead as they turn in is with Doyen to Win and Kevin Sexton as they make the run towards the first flight. Doyen to Win with Luda Talen just not a fraction on landing on the inside, disputing second with Fox the Bell and Crimson Chief on the outside. The big white face of Champagne Vacation as they jump flight number 2. Again, all safely over. Racing in 6th is Hit the Button in front of the light blue jacket of Cruisin' Susan with Definite Adair. The black and white star jacket on the outside of King Gressel in the change of colours there, the blue and white stripes, followed in the back to Scalino, and the back marker is Legacy of Dreams. So on to flight number 2, and over it. Fluent jump in front by Doyen to Win, lands with a lead of a couple of lengths. Over racing in 2nd is Luda Talen, who's on the inside of Crimson Chief and Fox the Bell, followed towards the outer by Champagne Vacation, ahead of Hit the Button. As they continue the run towards flight number 4. Behind Hit the Button races King Gressel, who's in front of Cruisin' Susan. On the inside of Definite Adair, who's lost its early pitch. The back two are Scalino and Legacy of Dreams. So quite a well strung out field. Head into the back straight and head towards flights 4 and 5 with Doyen to win. Keen in front for Kevin Sexton, leads by about 8 to 10 lengths. From Crimson Chief, races second on the outside of Lou de Telen. A couple of lengths then to Fox the Bell 4, a length to Champagne Vacation, the top weight 5. Another length then to Hit the Button as the chasing group just begin to tighten up a bit more, followed by King Gressel, Cruising Susan on the inside of Definite Adair. A length and a half to Scalino and the back marker as they jump flight number 5. Continues to be Legacy of Dreams. On to number 6. Doyen to win. Again, fluent over it. Lands about slightly reduced advantage, maybe about half a dozen lengths now. To Champagne Vacation has pulled its way through now to show in second. Third on the outside is Crimson Chief, followed by Lou de Telen and Fox LaBelle 4 and 5. 2 lengths then to Hit the Button, who's in front of Definite Adair on the outside of King Gressel. A few lengths then to find Cruising Susan, Scalino, and the back mark continues to be Legacy of Dreams. So continue on the run towards the turn into the straight for the second time. And no change in the order, with Doyen to win and Kevin Sexton in front by about 3 lengths or so to Champagne Vacation and Sean O'Keefe in second. On the inside is Lou de Telen and Gavin Broder, who's followed in 4 by Crimson Chief in the hands of Kieran Buckley as they come to the first of the 2 flights in the straight, flight number 7 on this occasion. Behind Crimson Chief, 3 lengths then to Fox LaBelle and Simon Torrance, who's in company with Hit the Button and Mike O'Connor. Definite Adair is next for Jordan Gainford as they jump that 8th flight, who's in company with King Gressel and Niall Moore. And behind King Gressel races Cruising Susan, who's in front of Scalino, and getting a little bit detached in the back of the field is Legacy of Dreams and Jack Foley. On to the final circuit, 6 flights left to jump as they come to the first of the flights on this last circuit, and the lead continues to be held by Doyen to win, and it's 3 to 4 lengths in front of Champagne Vacation in second. Gap of some 4 to 5 lengths now opening up to Crimson Chief back in third, with Fox LaBelle on that one's outside. The inside rail is held by Lou de Telen. They're followed by Hit the Button and Cruising Susan, with just in front of that King Gressel, Definite Adair on the outside, a few lengths to Scalino, and an ever widening gap back to the back marker Legacy of Dreams. At the flight 5 from the finish and over it, Doyen to win has re-established his advantage and gone on now by, in fact has probably a bigger advantage now than it's had at any time at any point of the race, about 15 lengths clear of Champagne Vacation in second, Lou de Telen third on the inside of Fox LaBelle 4, 3 lengths then to Crimson Chief, Hit the Button, King Gressel, Cruising Susan, Definite Adair, a few lengths to Scalino, and beginning to get tailed off now is Legacy of Dreams. But halfway down the back straight, inside the final 3/4 of a mile, and racing towards the flight, which is 4 for the finish. And Doyen to win, just a little bit awkward at it, but his house 15 to 20 in front of Champagne Vacation giving chase in second. Lou de Telen third, Fox LaBelle 4. If they come to the third last, at least Doyen to win does and is well clear of Champagne Vacation, Lou de Telen, Cruising Susan making ground. King Gressel makes progress on the inside of Fox LaBelle, and they've gone away from Hit the Button. Crimson Chief is weakened, being passed by Definite Adair and then Scalino. Heading inside the final half mile and towards the turn into the straight, and Doyen to win, still out clear for Kevin Sexton. And no sign really of the chasing group making any inroads into the lead at this stage. They're 15 to 20 lengths in front of Champagne Vacation, Fox LaBelle, Cruising Susan, King Gressel next. Lou de Telen has dropped back. But racing towards the turn in the straight, Doyen to win. Now the gap begins to get a little bit tighter as Champagne Vacation is closed maybe to within a dozen to 15 lengths in second, but there's plenty of work to do to close on this leader as they head into the straight inside the final quarter mile and towards the second last. Doyen to win out clear, jumps it slightly awkwardly but still well clear and surely has an unassailable advantage now. Lou de Telen has moved into second giving chase. Fox LaBelle is in third, 4 is Champagne Vacation, who's quite enough, and then King Gressel, but down to the final flight is Doyen to win, who jumps it clear. Lou de Telen is close to about 8 lengths as the race inside the final 50 yards. Doyen to win, out on his feet a little bit out in front. Lou de Telen is closing rapidly as they run the line. Doyen to win on the near side. Lou de Telen and possibly gets up Lou de Telen from Doyen to win in second. They finish well clear of Fox LaBelle in third. Fourth was King Gressel, and then Crimson Chief, Champagne Vacation and Scalino. Dramatic finish to this 2.5 mile handicap hurling.
I didn't like the last, I wasn't great at the second last, so she wasn't great at the second last. And agonisingly, it did look like it looked like Lou de Telen has got there. There we go. First number 8, Luna Talema's got there all right. Heather and neck at the end a bit on the field there. But you have to feel the Doyle to win. She did everything right. Kevin Sexton kicked it out of the gate. She set up a nice lead. She went even further clear on the run down the back straight and picked it up here and the run into the home straight. They're all treading water in behind Luna Talen. Interesting that Gavin Bruder opted to go around the inside, but the race is back out to the outside here. He's just keeping on the second place, goes right from top of the bell. Champagne vacation is behind, and it's all very hard work for all those in behind. Decided to win over the last time. It's just at this point that I'm sure Gavin Bruder thinks maybe I've got a chance of getting there. Down to win, starts to tread water. Kevin Sexton getting more and more anxious, keeps her balance, keeps her going forward, but ultimately on the heavy ground, it's Luda Talen, the really well back Luda Talen for Owen Griffin, who has stayed on best of all. Look at it here, the lead that Down to Win has, and Kevin Sexton still fairly motionless on her back. He really hasn't asked her. She's just done it all very, very easy. She's gone to the front. She was in a lovely racing rhythm from early. She was a big price as well. Looked like she had the race in the bag and the run down to the second last. She is tired, but everything else in behind is tired as well. But fair play to Luda Talen. He is the one, the only one who could make inroads into her lead, and he's come well away from Fox LaBelle. He wasn't very good at the last either, and maybe it looked like maybe that was the final nail in his chance. But on the run in, when Gavin Bruder asked him to come to pick up again, he's really gone to the